Previously on Gears.
Today on my Disi's Double Ds, we are chatting to a multi-award-winning sports broadcaster, a memory expert, and a professional mentalist. It's Michael Abrahamson. We'll be finding out more about Michael himself, but we'll also be chatting about his latest stage show. He has teamed up with multi-award-winning television producer and stage director Richard H. Nosworthy. Together they have developed a family show that will blow even the most cynical of minds. Whether you attribute Michael's skills to his ability to read body language or his ability to manipulate the subject through psychological suggestion, one thing is certain: you can expect a show that is funny, interactive, and unfathomable to the audience, all of whom are constantly involved in the process, both actively and passively. Hi Michael, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi Disi, great to be here.
Michael, it's great to see you again.
Lovely to see you too.
Yeah, I tell
Feels
you.
like the old days.
Yeah, from broadcasting to playing with our minds.
Yep.
Which is like broadcasting.
Suppose it is.
Okay, well, I thought it would first be nice to just chat to you a bit about your broadcasting
Do you
career.
like the music, Disi?
No, I started giggling when I heard it.
I love the music. Sounds like my show.
Yeah.
The opening track.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Wow, okay.
So that was great. I mean,
Perfect.
you're way ahead of me.
I tell you, broadcasting, you got to love it.
Okay, do you want to tell us a bit more about it? Because, I mean, you were involved in so many different sports throughout your career. Yeah.
Yeah, I got involved by sitting at home in front of the television and doing commentary into a tape recorder, which was fashionable in those days. And then I submitted it to the broadcasting, to the sports channel at the SABC. And they said to me, you have got a terrible voice, you'll never make it in the industry, stick to actuarial science, which I was studying at the time. And I was determined to prove them wrong. So I just worked harder and harder at it, and openings started to develop. And then I started to do cricket for radio. And gradually they said to me, can you do rugby? And I said no. They said, go try anyway. And I started becoming a rugby commentator and then a soccer commentator for television. And it gradually just mushroomed from there. And I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world, to do an Olympics, which was really fantastic. Wow. But the highlight was definitely World Cup 2010.
Yeah.
Working on the official radio station for the World Cup and doing the final and the opening game. I mean, that was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a definite highlight.
That was huge.
Have they never, has SABC, Michael, not asked you to come back and train certain people?
In fact, they said to me immediately after the World Cup, the next day, they said to me, I'm sorry.
Thanks, cheers.
Thank you, goodbye, we need to train other people. And
But they didn't ask you to train?
At all. I've never been asked to. I don't know if I'd want to train, actually, to tell you the truth.
I know, you don't want to give away your secrets.
Really, secrets. It's just the passion is in the actual doing rather than teaching somebody else to do.
Because there are times when I'm driving on a weekend sometimes and I tune into Radio 2000 and there might be a sporting event taking place. Mm-hmm. And I'll be listening to the radio nowadays, and I wouldn't know if it's a cricket match, a rugby match, or a soccer game, because, and unfortunately, it's just that there's such poor training that I'm listening, not watching. I'm listening, and I don't know where somebody is on the field, what color they're playing, which direction they're going.
I think
it's
the difference
terrible.
Is when I started, I wasn't allowed to do a cricket test until I'd done 2 full seasons of domestic matches in what was then the 4-day series.
Yeah.
And I worked at Centurion Park and the Wanderers, so I had 6 matches per season to work on, plus all the one-day matches. And only then I was allowed to gradually be infiltrated, if you like, into the test arena and into internationals after about 3 seasons. Nowadays, you can literally walk in and be broadcasting internationals. So I think that's the big difference.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
Okay, you clearly aren't intelligent. I mean,
No,
an
not at all.
actuarial qualification from the Institute of Actuaries in London, as well as a first-class honours degree in statistics. That's
Geez, the two
absolutely
of you, I
crazy.
mean, because she's a CA. Wow.
Okay, but you were fascinated by magic from a very
Yes,
young age.
I
Were
was.
you a magician at one stage?
Yes.
How did the whole process work, getting
My
into what you're
cousin
doing
had a
today?
birthday party at the age of about 4, and I was about 6. And I was there, and this magician asked me to help him to do a trick. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I thought, wow, this is great. And he opened up a magic school, and I went every Sunday morning for about 5 years to learn all the tricks of the trade. I was about 11 when I did my first show, and it was tremendous. It just opened opportunities. I was very, very shy growing up, and it gave me an opportunity to sort of unwind and to take me outside of my comfort zone, if you like, and work in front of people and do something that was fairly unnatural for me to begin with. And the confidence just grew. And then after a while, I saw a mentalist who came to South Africa, I think in the late 1990s. And I thought, wow, this is exactly what I need to do. This is magic of the mind. This is intelligent magic. And I got involved with that. And there are only 3 of us in the country who do it professionally. So that was more the route that I wanted to go. Because in a magic show, I mean, you've got illusions that work. If the trapdoors work properly or the smoke machines work well, there's no real skill in the sense that it's all the apparatus that's doing it for you. With mentalism, you are reading people's body language, reading their minds. It's not foolproof at all. You can make mistakes regularly.
Yeah.
And you've got to be totally focused for the full duration of a show. Otherwise, things can go horribly wrong. So you're not reliant on props. The props are your spectators and your audience and your own mind. So that's what makes it incredibly
nervous.
fascinating.
I'm so nervous. I just don't
My
want something
favorite-
ugly to come there. You can see something ugly in my head.
don't
and
worry,
then
I'll
tell the whole
whisper it to you
country.
quietly.
Yeah. We'll write it down.
Oh, that's it, though.
Because my favorite TV show is actually The
Really?
Mentalist.
It's very similar to what we do, but it's
Yeah.
very different from what we do.
Yeah, I can
because
imagine.
It's produced specifically for television,
Yeah.
whereas what we do is developed into a live theatre show for a family audience, for them to participate and get actively involved. So it's different, but it's the same. If that makes any sense.
That makes sense. Okay, tell us a little bit about the show.
All right, the show is a collaboration, as you've mentioned, with Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a fair bit of work with Richard. He came to see one of my previous shows, and he came up to me afterwards and he said, look, I really like what you're doing. I like what you're putting in, but we need to make it more theatrical. And he said, I can help you with that. I've got experience in doing it. Let me add my little touch to what you're doing.
Okay.
And we sat, he watched a lot of my corporate shows. He came with me to corporate events and he said, I like the material that you're doing, but we need to make it into more of a show. Add music, add dramatical effects, add some color on stage. And he's themed the whole show. So it's now all about color. The sets look very interesting and mysterious. When people walk into the theater, they think, wow, what's under this prop and what's this all about? And they're colored masks that hang from the ceiling. And it's all about color and action and drama. And so he's made it into a whole show experience, and everything follows on from everything else. And at the end, we have a hugely surprising ending where everything that happens in the show has been predicted in advance. And
Holy.
sealed away in a box that's been locked and
No way.
And the whole show is predicted in advance that I can prove that afterwards that I knew exactly what course of action every audience member would take.
Wow.
And that's quite exciting. It involves a lot of memory skills. I memorized an entire shuffled pack of cards in about 30 seconds.
Well, you are an actuary. I would.
It does help.
It
but
does help,
Then I
eh?
get gamblers who come up to me after and say, "Will you show me how to do that?"
Can we go to Sun City together?
I get that a lot. Also, a lot of mathematical techniques, body
Yeah.
language, memory, prediction, reading body language. Very, very important. I show people, in fact, how you can, just from somebody's body language on stage, how you can reveal all sorts of things about them. So it's a fascinating show. I don't want to give too much away,
No,
but
of
we are
course.
giving tickets away to some of your listeners to come and watch tonight.
Yeah.
And it's a one-off, so if they would like to come and see it, I don't know, you can tell them what to do.
Yeah, no. We'll get to that in a short while.
All right.
How, as you say, there are only 3 of you
Mm-hmm.
in South Africa that do this. I mean, where do you train?
That's the problem, and that's a very good question that I get asked regularly. You can't train by asking anybody else in South Africa because even though there are 3 of us who do it, we all do very different things. Some of the other guys do metal bending and bend spoons.
Yes.
I prefer to do more mathematical and memory techniques because I link it in with my courses that I do at school. I do training courses for school learners, varsity students. And I show
Yes.
them how to memorize huge chunks of work in the space of a couple of hours.
I
to
need that
them-
help. I
to help them
can't.
for study purposes. And I use those techniques for the World Cup because I had to memorize
Of
the
course.
names of soccer players of Honduras and South Korea and all these things in the space of a couple of hours. So I developed all these techniques. When I was
Techniques.
studying actuarial science, you have 27 textbooks of 400 pages each. And that
You
you have
gotta-
to learn in a couple of weeks. So it's a matter of techniques to memorize those. So a lot of those techniques I teach school learners, varsity students on courses. So I like to adapt that to my show, where I show you how you can use a lot of memory and mind reading techniques as part of entertainment, but also as part of education. So people who walk out of the show walk out of there saying, wow, it's amazing what you can do with your mind.
I never had a very clever friend at school. I really
Neither did
lost.
I.
Yeah, but because you were the clever one. Okay, listen. So we've got the show that's going on tonight. We are going to give away 4 sets of double tickets. It's in the Atterbury Theatre in Pretoria. So you've got to be in
Right.
the Gauteng kind of area.
Correct.
But now, Michael, you're gonna have a little bit of fun with. Why don't you have a little bit of fun with Disi first? And then
Okay.
we're going to have a fun all together. Now, we've tweeted we need, Disi, what do we need? A
A
banknote?
cell phone, a banknote, a set of keys, and a mystery object.
Okay, so,
But I don't think we need to do fun
No, I
with
thi- I
me.
think
All
we
right, well,
do.
we'll do something that's not personal because
yeah.
the personal effects, because I'm about 5 hours away from
From doing the
going
show.
into a
Yeah.
huge state of trance. I don't want to do anything too hectic now
Okay.
because of the fact that the show is a one-off tonight. It's not part of a run, and I haven't performed it for a couple of months, and it's very, very draining.
that's
but what I'll do for you though is
Yes.
I'll show you how it's possible to memorize an entire calendar. Now, what I've done is I've memorized the calendar from the year 2000 to the year 2015. So what you can do is on your computer, just make sure that I can't see. You can pull out any date in any one of those years. So it's 16 years, 192 months, and you can call up any date that's significant for you. It can be a birthday or a date that's important anywhere between 2000 and 2015. You need to give me the year, the month, and the date, and I will tell you which day of the week it fell on in that specific year in a couple of seconds.
Okay.
And it's all done with memory, but you need to give me the year first. So any year from 2000 up until 2015.
Okay.
Just call out a year.
It's 2007.
Really? 2007? Okay, 2007 I don't know very well. I'm joking, it's fine. Give me a month.
September.
Is this a significant date for you because it's a birthday?
Yes.
All right, I can see because your eyes are moving from side to side, which shows there's some sort of emotional attachment to this. Give me September 2007. Give me a date.
28th.
The 28th. That would be a Friday. Check it up. 2007.
No, now it's done something funny.
Okay, I promise you.
I promise you it's a Friday.
The 28th of September 2007.
Daisy, as long as you got it all together there.
It's a Friday. Go check it up and see.
Okay, we believe you. We believe you.
No, wait. I'm going to find it.
Okay, go check it.
Okay. Now, okay, Michael, let's have a little bit of fun with us and of course all of our listeners as well.
All right.
So I've got now.
I can't see the desk in front
It's
of
a
you.
Friday.
Thank you very much.
Gosh, that's so cool.
Okay, so I've got a banknote.
All right, a
keys,
banknote. I asked for keys.
and a mobile phone.
A mobile phone, and then
And a
some
mystery
mysterious
object.
item, which can be anything.
Okay. What are we going to do?
All the listeners
I
who are
don't have
playing
a
along,
banknote.
you can play along also if you like, but I'm not specifically looking at what you're doing in front of you. I'm going to just talk generally to the listeners.
Perfect.
So
Thanks,
we'll arrange
Ash.
these objects in a line in a certain way, and
Okay.
all the listeners who can do this at home or on their laps or on a table or wherever they like.
All
I'm going
right.
to see if I can influence you
Yeah.
to end up with the same item. And it's
Okay.
very difficult because I'm going to let you start in a completely random fashion. So,
All right.
so what I'd like you to do is put your mystery item aside
Okay.
and take the other three, which
Yeah.
everybody has the same of, which
Yeah.
are, we said keys, a cell phone, and a
and a
banknote.
banknote, yeah.
Lay them out on a table in a line. So one
Okay.
on the left, one in the middle, one on the right.
Okay. I've done that.
All right. So keys, cell phone, and banknotes
Banknote,
have
yeah.
been laid on the table. Now pick up your mystery item, whatever it is, and put it on the left, the very left of the three items that you have.
Cool.
So you now have a mystery item and then three other items in a completely random order.
Correct.
Now I need you to shuffle them around so that they're in a completely random fashion, and I want you to do it like this. We'll do item by item. Take the cell phone and
Yeah.
swap the cell phone with the item immediately to its left. So just exchange it with the item immediately on its left.
Okay.
All right, everybody's playing along.
Yeah.
I now want you to take the banknote
Yeah.
and exchange it with the item immediately on its right. If there is no item on its right, then do nothing.
Okay.
But otherwise, just swap it with the item immediately on its right.
Cool.
Okay, the one we haven't moved yet are the keys. So swap the keys with the item immediately on its left. If it's already on the left, then do nothing.
Okay.
Okay. You now have 4 items in a line that have now been moved into a random position. So if there
Yeah.
was any psychology involved, it's completely nullified. And you could have started, you had about 24 different possible arrangements to start with.
Okay.
Call the items 1, 2, 3, and 4 from left to right.
Okay.
Pick up either number 1 or number 2 and discard it.
Okay.
Either 1 or 2. Just pick up either one of them and get rid of it. If you pulled out number 2, close the gap so that we've
Okay.
now got 3 items, which I'm now going to call 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Because we worked with the items on the left, we'll work with the 2 items on the right. So the one that's now in the middle and
Yeah.
the one that's now on the right.
Okay.
Swap those 2. Swap
Yeah.
them round.
Yeah.
Okay, you've done that?
Yeah.
Now everybody's got a completely different arrangement.
Yeah.
I'd like you to pick up the item that is now on the very left
Okay.
and remove it.
Okay.
Now pick up the item that is on the very right and remove it.
Yeah.
And if you've done this successfully and you've been listening to what I've told you, you should end up with a banknote. And if you have the banknote, you will be prosperous for the rest of your life, and lots of money will be coming into your life if you look for opportunities. So I'd love to know from the listeners how many of you ended up with a banknote, given that you started in a completely random fashion.
All right.
That
Oh,
was insane.
And it looks like we've had great success in the studio.
we have you have won us over. Daisy, give me back my money.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's my tip.
No, it isn't. Jeez, I
That's
must
so
say,
cool.
the show must be. How long is the show?
The show is about 50 minutes first half, then there's an interval of 20 minutes, but in the
Okay.
interval, lots of exciting things happen.
All right.
Without giving too much away, and then the second half's about 40 minutes. So with the interval, it's just under 2 hours.
All right.
But you'll see
But it must be
Mind-blowing.
draining.
Very draining. I mean, the previous run, we did a run of about 10 shows in February.
Yeah.
And I did 2 shows back-to-back on a Saturday and a Sunday, and it was absolutely exhausting.
I can imagine.
But afterwards, I come out and chat to the audience and
Oh, really?
touch base with them and get their feelings. And it's very interactive. The thing is, audience members, we get about 25 people to participate in the show.
Brilliant.
Nothing threatening, nothing embarrassing. It's very much a family show, but total involvement with everybody involved. And they have fun and they walk out of there scratching their heads.
Okay, there we go.
And can people still buy tickets for
Yes,
tonight?
absolutely. Through CompuTicket or at the theatre box office. There's still some really good seats available. If you do want to sit close to the front, I'd advise that, because then you really do get involved in the show. If you don't want to participate, you can sit back and just relax and not participate if you don't want to, but you'll want to.
I
That
can
was
well
awesome.
imagine. All right, so we've got 4 sets of double tickets to give away.
Can I just mention it's called Visage, which is obviously the
Visage.
face. It's
Yes.
a French word for the face, the countenance, the facial expressions, and it's called Visage, revealing the secrets of the mind. And we reveal all sorts of secrets of the mind, but nothing too personal, as I said.
It's just it sounds fantastic. Well, everyone, I ended up with a banknote. I ended up with a banknote. I ended up with a banknote. So it definitely
Okay.
does work,
I was
Michael.
stressing I'd done something wrong, and I was going to be the only chop that ended up with like
We-
the cell phone.
you-
or
It's
you-
something.
possible,
Yeah.
because you can't control everybody. There will be listeners out there who didn't end up with a banknote, but hopefully not too many.
Well, it all depends if, as long as people know their left and their right.
That also
And-
helps.
Yeah, no, and I was also going, okay, right, because I'm a bit stupid, so it's like, oh, I can't remember. It's brilliant stuff. Okay, we've got 4 sets of double tickets. If you want them, we're posting a couple of things up on Twitter. It's in the Pretoria area. We will get, I mean, everyone here, Brendan goes banknote, WTF. Wow. So it works. If you want to go, I really think it's going to be amazing. It's a pity it's a one-off show.
It will be coming back as
Okay.
things happen, but for tonight, as the show in its current format is a one-off, and we're not bringing it back as it stands.
Okay, so it'll be a different kind of entity as
At
well.
some point in the future, but for now, this is it. It's just
Okay.
a one-off because the theatre asked me to bring it back.
Lovely. And you've got a Facebook page for tonight
We
as well.
do. It's called Visage. They can
Okay,
just
go and
search
check it out there as well. And then you can follow you as well.
Absolutely.
On Twitter as well, which is incredible.
And the other nice thing is that people can actually come and watch the show, and they can tweet during the show. We allow you to keep your cell phones on and send messages to people and tell them what's going on. So most theatre productions tell you turn your cell phones off and don't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
involved. Here we want you to get involved.
Terrific.
That's awesome.
Man, it sounds brilliant, Michael. I wish you the greatest success. I mean, it sounds as though
Thanks
it's
so
going
much for having me.
fantastically.
That's going nicely, but I'll be a lot more, what's the word?
We'll get you again.
Relaxed at about 12 o'clock tonight.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Michael, we'll get those names off to you as soon as possible in the next half an hour or so.
Perfect.
We wish you well tonight, and we definitely get you back on in the future.
That'll be great, and then I'll do something really
Yeah, something
wild
hectic.
and
With
radical
Sasha.
with you.
Hectic.
Okay.
Cool.
Look forward to it. Michael, great to see you again.
Thanks so much.
All right, there we go.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo on balls.co.za.